Oh, I do have a question. Let's see if we can solve my problem.
All right.
Cue the music!
Cue the music! Coming to you live from the great indoors of New York City, I'm Bryan Teoh. Joining me today from Green Bay, Wisconsin is Kevin Macleod. Together, we'd like to welcome you to Composerish, where we discuss issues facing modern working composers. Sometimes. Yeah.
Cue the music. Yeah!
Cued. Call it cued. So, we had previously discussed Gravity, the software by Heavyocity, because I was talking about trying to create gritty, dark drones. You said that's the way to go, and it's an expensive boy. So I didn't really want to drop the money because I really don't have it, but I was working on a project, and I was like, I really, really, really need to just do this thing that this thing does.
Yeah.
I went on the website, found out I had just missed the summer sales, which really sucks, but I didn't know about it at the time. And then I just bought it. I bought it full price.
$450. And does it do what it's supposed to do? This is my question. Because I was singing its praises pretty hard. I'm like, uh-oh, what if Bryan wants something else?
No, it's really good. They have amazing presets, which are really easy to drop into projects. Not all of them are super useful, but it does give you the opportunity to get down and dirty with some of their presets and like really modify things. So I think there are very specific types of drones that I'm looking for, and I'm confident that I'm going to be able to manipulate the software to get it to where I want it to be. And for like really quick fixes, I've already got like a handful of bread and butter drone that's just like really bassy and kind of moves a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've used it now for probably about, I think, 4 or 5 projects since I bought it.
Oh, wow. Just like in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah. It's been a really busy month for me.
Yeah. I'm using it for my Kubrick rescore too, actually.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Just like Damage, it seems to have really changed the industry.
Yeah.
When Damage came out, you started hearing that sound everywhere. And they created that software because I'm sure they were using sound design techniques for like trailers and movies and stuff that they were scoring. And they're like, so the legend goes. They're like, I'd really love to have this in software form for a virtual instrument. So they built one kind of because that's the thing that they felt they needed. And then once they put it out there, all the people were like, oh, all the stuff that we're trying to do with like bit crushing layers and then like adding modulation layers and adding whooshes and all that stuff. This is a thing that just does that. That's awesome. And then you heard that sound everywhere. And it's like once you know the sound of Damage, you'll either hear Damage elsewhere or you'll hear people like trying to emulate it, even if they're not using it. And I think it's the same thing with Gravity. Once you start using it, you start hearing it everywhere, like in television shows and movies and trailers. Like, I know how they did that now.
That's Haunted Iluvatar. I know that preset. Actually, is that one in Gravity?
It is, I think. Yeah. When I didn't know what the trick was, I was like, man, that must have taken hours to make, or days even. Sometimes, I mean, these sounds are really complex and really detailed, and I'm trying to think about building them from the ground up, and it's just like, ugh. That sounds like so much work. So I put it through its paces. I've used it a lot. Even sometimes just adding like really quiet, barely audible textures in the background is really useful. So no complaints there. It was well worth the money. However.
$450.
Yeah.
And then. It's November still, so the sales are coming.
There was a big old sale. Heavyocity jumped on the Black Friday sale early. And they were like, it was like maybe a week or 2 ago. I don't even remember. All time is irrelevant now, but it was a while ago. And they were like, we're going to have a Black Friday sale, but we're starting it right now. So it's going to be like, I think it's like 50% off of everything that we have. Everything. And I was like, whoa, that is great. That's amazing.
That is great. That is amazing. Unfortunately, you had the previous week purchased it because the summer sales were done.
And this is kind of like my trend. This happened with Spitfire, and I think we talked about this in a previous episode.
Right. I said, just email them.
Yeah. See what happens. So I emailed them and they gave me this patronizing response of like, well, we apologize that you're upset and we understand. However, due to the nature of sales, and then they basically explained to me how sales work and about how they're on sometimes and they're off other times. So basically sit on it.
Call y'all. Call y'all. Thanks, Spitfire.
I did a little bit of research with Heavyocity and found out that they have a policy where if you buy software 5 days before a sale, then they'll retroactively give you the sale price. They'll just refund part of your money for whatever the difference is.
See? That is customer service right there.
In 5 days, that's pretty good. What luck. And I went to find my receipt and found out I had bought the software 6 days early. Just like, I know, it's like, just can't get a break. So I emailed them anyway, because that's what you're supposed to do. There's like, if you feel like you're owed this thing, you just send them proof of purchase and whatever. And they didn't even ask any questions. They didn't admonish me. They didn't give me a lecture. They were just like, here you go. Thank you for shopping with us. The refund should post to your account in a couple days or whatever. And I was like dumbfounded at how awesome that was.
You got it.
Yeah, they did. They gave it to me. It was
you got
like
the
really
money
cool.
back.
Yep, got the money back, and then directly turned around and spent it back on them again. Like I was like, this is all going to go back to you guys. Thank you for being awesome. And now, anytime that Heavyocity releases anything, I'm like, that's the way to do it, guys. Like their customer service. I had a question about damage too because I couldn't get that working, and they emailed me right back. They were really quick. So I mean, customer service on point, and it makes a huge difference. Spitfire, not so much.
Spitfire.
I did miss the sale, so they didn't do anything wrong, and I understand. But it did just kind of suck that their response was like, "Well, this is how sales work."
You missed the Heavyocity sale too, and you missed the Heavyocity window,
right? That
the sale would have worked for.
Yeah, retroactively.
You know, they were even being nice, and you went beyond that.
Yeah,
and they still gave you your money back.
It was really great.
I love those guys.
Heavyocity, that's how you do it. Everybody buy all the Heavyocity stuff. Their instruments are amazing. You're not going to go wrong with getting them, and their customer service is just freaking ridiculous. I can't sing their praises enough. If you like what we do, please do us a favor by going to the Apple Podcast app and subscribing to Composerish. In other news, I hear that Guitar Center is declaring bankruptcy.
They've declared bankruptcy. They're not closing everything. They're just restructuring their debt because they're just going down. And I saw people complaining on the Reddits about it's like, oh, great. They come in and they drive out all the local music stores and then now they're going bankrupt and we're going to have nothing. I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's exactly what they did, and it kind of sucks.
That's about it. Yeah. If your area needs a music store, it will get one somehow. From somewhere.
I did like the indie guitar stores and indie music stores. That there was a charm, and you got to have a lot of expertise talking to the people that own those stores because they were usually the ones also working it, and they just knew everything about everything. And the problem is when you go into these big box stores, it's kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes you find somebody who really knows what they're talking about, and just as often you find somebody who thinks they know what they're talking about.
When I was kitting out my first studio, went to the Guitar Center because buying studio monitors is very hard.
Oh yeah, you can't buy them just
on reviews. You have to hear stuff.
And you have to compare them.
Right. And they had the speakers set up and I did some comparing and I listened to the guy and I bought some KRK Rockets.
Oh no.
And then I got them home and I set them up and then I tested them out doing sine wave sweeps and like checking them out. I'm like, oh no. These are terrible.
Yep. And they're everywhere. I wonder if there's like some sort of deal through Guitar Center where if they push them, they end up making some more money or get a kickback.
You know what? They made them sound really good because it was like less than half the price of the other ones I was considering.
Sure.
And I'm like, I mean, you know, money's money.
Yeah.
And I bought them and then I took them back the same day and then purchased my Mackie 824s.
I had a similar experience. I don't remember where I went. I think I went to a Guitar Center as well. in order to get my monitors. I got Adam A7s.
Yes.
The first generation. So this is a while ago.
Yeah, they're still good.
But I remember like talking to the guy and he was trying to push me in different directions. He was like, oh, have you thought of this? Have you thought of this? I was like, I'm here to look at these two different models of these speakers. I just want to hear them side by side. That's it. And he's like, have you thought about it? I was like, shh, 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 shh. Because like, because we talked about it afterwards and the guy is like, yeah, he's really into producing club music, which is awesome. But also like we're going to be looking for very, very, very different things. And I was specifically interested in the Adams because I knew that they had really clear high end.
Yeah.
And that's what I was interested in because at the time I was doing really, really, really detailed sound design type stuff.
Right.
I listened to the KRKs just because I wanted to see. They're so much cheaper and there are so many people online that are like, this is what the way to do it.
Wait, the Carrot Cage? You listen to the what?
KRKs.
Oh, the KRKs.
Yeah. Sorry. Am I like slurring speech now?
I just didn't hear it right. I'm like,
yeah.
The Carrot Cage, is that like slang for something? Is that like those orange guitar amps?
Oh,
you
what?
call those Carrot Cages?
You don't know? You don't know? I thought you were a musician.
Yeah, Carrot Cage.
Bro.
Well, I'm now going to call KRKs Carrot Cages.
The Carrot Cage. And the thing is, people probably won't even know. They'll just assume that you say KRK.
Yeah.
I think some people have good luck with them. I don't want to trash KRKs because, again, I don't have a specific vendetta against them. I just didn't like the way they sounded.
It's like New York. If you can make it sound good there, it'll sound good everywhere.
And people do. I mean, I've seen pictures of people in pro studios who make like, award-winning records and stuff, and they have KRKs. So
yeah, if you produce for that and you can make those things sound okay.
There's also a bunch of stuff that you're not going to hear. Like I would just be worried that there'd be like issues with my stems that I'm not noticing until it goes to broadcast. I'm like, oh crap.
Just play it louder and you'll hear that shit more.
You can totally hear me typing on my keyboard in the background of this take. Or like clearing my throat before playing a recorder line or something. I did buy a guitar through Guitar Center during quarantine because all of my local guitar shops were closed for business and you couldn't go anywhere basically.
You needed like an emergency guitar?
I had just been going crazy,
Don't you have a guitar?
I have lots of guitars, but I didn't have this guitar. So and I had an empty space on my guitar rack and it needed to be filled. You understand.
Well, I do now. Yeah.
No, it was weird. At one point I realized I don't have any solid body guitars. I only had I had acoustic guitars and I had hollow body electric guitars because I played a lot of jazz. I had at some points in my life had solid body guitars, but I think I've just gotten rid of them as time has gone on. So it was kind of an impulse buy, but I bought a guitar. Mexican Fender Jaguar. It's the Vintera series. So it's like a copy of their 1960s model. But good bang for your buck.
How much does a guitar cost? I don't play guitar. I don't know.
It depends.
Solid. This one, the one.
The one that I got was around $1,000.
Oh, okay.
I would say if you're buying a guitar, you should plan on spending at least $700. You can probably find some okay guitars for less than that, but they're typically not going to be all that great. If you spend $700, you can usually find something that's pretty good in that range, at least usable. And then you can spend a ridiculous amount after that.
So if I go to Amazon and I find the, Fender-like thing for $169, probably no?
Probably not. Unless you really want to do like a ton of work on it, because you're going to have to swap out everything. I'm guessing the electronics especially, right off the bat, are going to be pretty terrible.
You wouldn't think that those would be the expensive part.
They can be the really cheap part, though, too. Like, good electronics are not necessarily going to be stupid expensive, but they can be stupid cheap. The electronics are going to be cheap. The wood's going to be cheap. It may or may not actually even be able to be put into tune because sometimes there's a lot of neck issues. Like just super cheap guitars don't even bother. But you also don't have to spend like $2,000, $5,000, $7,000 on a guitar either. I think that's kind of
those
ridiculous.
are also available on Amazon.
Yeah, again, like most of the time for guitars, you want to play them in person because especially with the guitars that are on like the lower end, if you're going to buy something that's in the $700 range or below that, just play it. What you end up losing when you save money is the quality control. You can find guitars that are amazing, but you can also find guitars that are absolutely terrible. And the only way to know is to really just play it. Ordering it online is usually not the way to go. Of course, that's what I did. So
that's what we got to do.
Yeah, I did the setup. It sounds awesome. It stays in tune. Any problems that people say that they have with Jaguars and Jazz Masters, definitely fixable. You just have to put in a little bit of work. And they were made to do that. Leo Fender specifically designed them for people with the intent of them having to set it up for the way that they like it. So if you just get it stock, it's probably not going to sound too good. The problem is, and this is the biggest thing, I don't usually shop at Guitar Center, so I didn't know how they do. But after buying this, they have now been relentlessly calling and emailing me almost every day, trying to get me to sign up for their instrument warranty.
Okay.
Or it was either instrument warranty or instrument insurance, something like that. I don't really remember because I don't really care.
It's like, no, man, I had to fix your shit the moment it got here. I had to buy tools. Fuck you.
I mean, at this point now, I've decided I'm going to keep it. I'll just fix it if anything goes wrong. And, if I want insurance, I'm going to buy my own musician's insurance. I'm not going to get it through Guitar Center.
Yeah.
And I actually told the guy, both on the phone and in email, I was like, please unsubscribe me. Please stop calling. Please stop contacting me. I don't want this. Thank you. And they keep getting in touch with me. And now that the period of time to get my instrument insurance has passed, they're still pinging me with different sorts of specials and whatever. Like, you like this, you might want to buy this thing too. And you know what really bothers me is if I would have bought instrument insurance from a company that decided to then declare bankruptcy, that would be some
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. They're going to wipe that off their books. They're going to wipe those liabilities off.
Did they always do this? I mean, did they always pressure people into getting instrument insurance? Or is this just a thing that they did recently because they're like, we need to scam as much money as we can out of people before we go under?
I remember a time when you went into Best Buy and you couldn't buy an adapter without them trying to giving you insurance on the adapter and try to upsell the special power outlet that you will need for the adapter, and it was just horrifying. But recently they've stopped doing that, and their stock's been doing better since. So stop annoying your customers, people. Just stop it.
I think I was convinced to not buy a guitar pedal because of that. I was buying an effects pedal. I think it was a Line 6 delay pedal. And the guy was like, do you want insurance on this? And I was like, no, thank you. And he's like, I'd suggest the insurance. I'm like, nah, I'm good. He's like, no. Here's the thing. I know you think I'm just trying to make a sale, but these pedals are really volatile. And I promise you, if you buy this without insurance, it is going to blow up on you. And, you're not going to be able to do anything. You won't be able to return it. And I was like, well, then I don't want it.
I don't want it. Clearly.
You're just basically telling me at the store, it's like, this is going to fail. You need the insurance. It's like either A, you're lying and I don't want to buy it, or B, you're right and I don't want to buy it.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Right.
Sales quota.
So I don't know if it was like a high, he was like, we need to get insurance sales up. So you guys need to do whatever you can. And that was his sales tactic, but it didn't work.
No, it may have worked if they needed to get their sales percentage up. If they sold it to you without insurance, that would have lowered their percentage.
Sure. So they basically only want to make sales if they bring up their insurance percentage. People that work at these stores, do you think they get commission?
You know what? Let's hear. We've got to have someone out there who works or has worked or has a roommate that worked at Guitar Center and complained about their pay. Because it can't be good. People who work there, it is a labor of love.
Or a labor of hate. I don't know. When's the last time you walked into a Guitar Center? Because if you do work at a Guitar Center, God bless you for having the patience I would never have.
Oh my God.
I don't think I could ever listen to that many day in and day out hacking through Stairway to Heaven and Purple Haze.
Is that still a thing? I don't think it is.
I think it is. I think it's one of those songs.
I think everyone's playing All-Star these days.
Maybe. I haven't gone into a Guitar Center recently. If anything ever opens up again and they're able to weather the storm of their bankruptcy, maybe we can go on a field trip with a field recorder and we'll see all right, this is the experience.
That would be a great podcast. The performances of Guitar Center.
Yeah, things that you hear, the guitar. I did hear a guy that was actually pretty good. He was a kid. He was probably a high schooler, but he was a fantastic jazz guitarist. And he was just ripping through standards. But it also was what are you doing here, dude? You're not trying out stuff because you're going to buy it. You're just here hanging out.
Yeah. It's
playing,
like the coffee shop.
I guess. It's I wonder if he comes there every day. The regulars. Do they have Guitar Center regulars?
I don't know.
They get to know people by name?
I guess. I mean, if you live next to a Guitar Center, I'm a regular at every close by store. Well, I mean,
I
it's
live
just a
across the
grocery store.
street from a Sam Ash, and I think I've been there once. And it was only because I had just
fair.
moved in the apartment and I wanted to hook up my stereo so I could listen to music while I was moving in. And I needed speaker cables, and they had it there. And I haven't been back since, and they're across the street. I've ordered guitar picks online before just walking over there to buy them. I don't know what that says about me.
I don't know either. It's a new world, people. It's a new world.
But yeah, that's the harassment angle is also not a good customer service policy.
Doesn't look good on
either.
you, man.
Like,
Doesn't look good on you, Guitar Center. Stop
for
it.
some reason,
Just
Sweetwater does it too.
chill out.
But Sweetwater was the first one that I think that did that whole like we're going to connect with our customers, and they're not oppressive about it. They call me like once every couple months, maybe.
I'll tell you why Sweetwater is always okay with me, because whenever I order stuff from them, they always send me candy.
Yeah, they send you candy.
They send me candy, and it's stupid, and it fucking works. It's like whenever I like walk into like a high-end store and they offer me a water, like, well, I guess I'm buying a pair of shoes. It always works, and I know it. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I could really use a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I did want the shoes, but that little, because God knows how much they spend on candy. It's not zero, but
it's not.
Because
like,
I'm remembering this like 10 years later. I'm like, oh man, I got a big haul when I got that M61 oxygen from Sweetwater.
and they sent you some Smarties and a Tootsie Roll.
Yes.
They send you the cheap candy. It's not like they're going to send you like a little Snickers bar or something.
It is ridiculously shitty cheap candy.
You're never going to get a Reese's peanut butter cup.
That's why it's joyous.
The first time I thought it was a mistake. The first time I ever ordered anything from Sweetwater was back in the day before they prepackaged everything. So like, I think I opened up like an audio interface in a box and I just found a bunch of like candy rolling around in there. I was like, what's going on? And like some of it, like the Tootsie Rolls came out okay, but then there were like some, I think these like weird malt balls or something that had actually come out of their packaging. So they're just rolling around in there. And I was like, that can't be Santa. Did somebody mess with this? And now they have their own branded little like prepackaged candy bags.
Oh,
that
do
you get.
they?
So, when's the last time you bought from them?
I haven't bought any hardware for a long time.
I go through spurts, so I didn't buy anything from them for a long time, and then this last year I bought a lot of stuff. So they prepackaged their candy into like these little like sealed bags, and there's branded and all that. Oh, the other thing, Guitar Center.
Guitar Center.
I'm wondering, since Guitar Center is going bankrupt, are we going to see any sales from that? Or are they going to be like, no, we're not going to give anything away. We need all the money we can get.
They're going to do the same marketing they've always done.
So we're not going to see any liquidation of any stuff.
No, they're not going to get rid of their stock.
Because that's the only thing that I was thinking of when I heard they were declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah.
The first thing I did is go to their website to see if they were having any mega 80, 90% off. And I was like, everything must go. And there was like nothing.
No,
like,
it's just restructuring of debt and getting out from some debt that they can never get out from.
not without some sort of like bailout or something.
Well, it's bankruptcy, so they can get out of their back rent and stuff like that.
Screw it.
But yeah, you can order guitars from them. You can order guitars apparently from Amazon, but spend $700. That's what I learned. $700. That's your minimum buy-in.
I'm just saying that like my general rule of thumb is if it's less than $700, be very suspect.
$180, don't do it. Well, or you'll get a suspect guitar.
Yeah, I mean, if you know what you're doing, I've considered buying really cheap guitars before, knowing that it would be like a project guitar. It's like I want to replace the neck. I want to build like a baritone guitar, and I was thinking maybe I'll just buy like a really cheap Fender Squier, and then replace all the electronics, get a baritone neck, pop that on there, and then it'll be good. It'll be good enough for what it is. But if you're gonna buy something for like $180 and expect it to be okay, like off the shelf, And especially if you're learning an instrument, buying a really cheap, crappy instrument with the intent of learning how to play it is a really bad idea, I think, because it's going to just turn you off of playing it. It should be a joy to play the instrument. And that's not saying that you have to spend like $7,000 on your first instrument, but you do have to invest something, because otherwise it's just going to like be a terrible experience. It might not have anything to do with learning the instrument. It might have everything to do with the instrument that you're specifically learning on.
Right.
So.
I went to a local music store back when they existed, and I was talking to the piano salesperson, and I'm like, what are people looking for? It's like, well, a lot of people come in and they say like, what is the best learning piano? I want my kid to learn piano. And they're like, well, this $50,000 Kawai is probably what you want. That's what you want. Because they're not fighting anything at that point. When you get a $50,000 piano, it's gonna sound good.
I had Well, better.
It's gonna sound good. Oh my God, that's even more than my piano. Jesus.
You're paying for like reliability and quality control and all that. You know that at $50,000, if there is a substandard piano, that's not making it off the line. They're going to be like, nope, or well, at least scratch our name out and let somebody else sell it.
That is a fine piano. And it is excellent to learn how to play piano on because it's going to sound beautiful, even if you're not that great. I'm not sure the same is true on guitar. If you're not that great on guitar, it's going to sound not great.
Yes,
really?
You're right. If you are not that great on piano, I don't know that you're going to be able to hide that fact by having a $50,000 piano.
No. It'll still sound like, but it sounds like somebody playing a beautiful, horrible version of something, right?
Sure. I can hear people playing beautiful guitars that are just terrible. I guess they still sound terrible, but there's like a difference. There's like wow, you really suck at playing guitar, but nice tone.
Cue the outro!
Cue the outro!
Cue the outro!
I'd like to thank everyone for listening. If you have any comments or suggestions of things you'd like to hear us babble on about, please feel free to contact us at composerish@gmail.com. Until next time, keep on writing.